Welcome back, guys. We're here with another video. Caitlin, Cottrell, and Catherine. Thank you guys for being a part of the PsychKey community and tuning into our videos. We really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, all at PsychKey. We'll be coming out with new videos all year. So today's video, we're talking about getting out of your own way. So how can we do that?
From a psychological perspective, we will talk about the psychoanalytic perspective, which deals with the id, ego, and superego. You know all about the Sigmund Freud, the guy who talked about the psychosexual stages and having feelings for your mother. That's only you, brother. That's only you. So one of the ways from that perspective, they listed various factors that we tend to trap ourselves with. So for example, denial. Catherine?
Yeah. So there are a few defense mechanisms that are stemming from this theory. And so if we experience any kind of traumatic events, these might be in place in your life to try to cope. So one of the ones that are maladaptive can be denial. And denial consists of just completely ignoring the fact that that event happened.
Blocking out external events totally, right? Just trying to block it from your mind entirely.
And it's to help to avoid those painful feelings or feelings of sadness that come along with the event. So you put up this wall, and typically it's very obvious to people on the outside because they can see that you're in denial of the event.
Right? And talking about that, then you have repression. It's another defensive mechanism that was brought up from the psychoanalytic perspective, and it's just look at, like, you know, unsavory thoughts, memories, you know, quite painful ones that can affect your behavior, and we tend to just, as the words is self-explanatory, repress and just try to keep it just locked down. And a lot of us tend to do that, you know, with our feelings and emotions negatively. We just tend to repress because we don't allow it to come out. It's exhibited through our behavior, and then we just, you know, tend to another defense mechanism, project on other people, which we'll get to soon.
So that's why we wanted to make this video, because it's good for us to identify what are trauma responses and survival tactics that we picked up throughout the years based on circumstances that we've been in and traumas that we've experienced. Because sometimes we can get in our own way of getting what we want and becoming the people that we want because we're acting from a place of trauma and we're acting throughout our triggers and not actually making a cognitive decision to act in a certain way. So for instance, in a relationship, if you are used to being hurt, lied to, and cheated on, for instance, you won't open up fully to a new partner. And so you'll be expecting those things. Whereas what you want, the goal would be to have an open and honest relationship. You might find yourself holding things back from your partner because you don't want to be vulnerable again in that situation. Or if you want to be taken care of by your partner, but you're used to having to stand your ground and be an independent woman and all these things, then if someone's like, oh, let me do this for you, it's like, no, no, no. You have that fight or flight, like, I'm surviving right now and I'm going to tell you, I don't need you to do this for me. But you want someone to take care of you in a way, and you want to take care and reciprocate that with that person. So sometimes we got to stop and look at, am I acting from a place of survival, or am I living in the moment? Am I becoming the person that I want? Am I attracting what I want towards me? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you're implementing the defense mechanisms, those are the things that can hinder you from being that person that you want. Because if you're acting from a place of denial, then you're never even acknowledging the trauma that existed, so you can't start your healing process. If you're acting from a place of repression, then all the emotions that you need to be focusing on healing are stuck just way down in there that you're just not acknowledging that they exist.
Right. And adding to that, another one that we can see happen daily, you know, even amongst our friends, family, is displacement. Now, a lot of you may, you know, have a bad day at work and come home, and then your spouse or child might be giving a little trouble, and all of a sudden you just get angry at them.
Yeah.
You ain't really angry at them, you had a bad day at work. However, you're displacing that anger on them, right? This is another
Oh, my hair coming out. Alright, back to Pastor Cottrell.
Hallelujah. That's displacement. It's not nothing to do with your child or husband or even wife. It's to do that you had a bad day at work. But because you couldn't take it out at work, you take that home and displace it somewhere else. And we see a lot of that on a daily basis.
Displacement also happens because of the low risk that's associated with it.
Yes.
You can't do it at work because what's going to happen if you blow up at work? You're going to get fired or demoted or, you know, whatever. So you can take it on your husband because, you know,
he'll be there.
He's in it.
But not forever.
And you keep treating it like that.
Yeah.
And he ain't threatening you. And
so like,
you.
so you feel like that's a safe place to displace it to. As a parent and a child, there's already that power imbalance. So like, you can take it out on your child, but what are they gonna know the difference? You know, they probably just did something wrong.
And it's important for us to know that people, especially the people that we care about, the people that are closest to us, are not a dumping ground for emotional poison, right? So you need to address what it is. You need to address what it is that's causing you the stress and anxiety, what happened to you, and write a letter, you know, sit down, breathe, meditate, do what you have to do, but try to not go through with that action. Sometimes that's the hardest thing, is to stop yourself in the moment when you're triggered and you just need to like let this go. You've been holding this in all day, all week. There are many ways for you to let it go and release. You need to find what works for you. It might be a bubble bath. It might be dancing to your favorite music and singing a song. You know what I mean? Like, do what you need to do so that you're not just like in this cycle of displacement.
Something that I do when I had a very tough day at work or something has happened and I know I'm about to step into my home, I'll sit in my car and just sit there for a while until I can just think through the situation, debrief myself, and then I'll go in. But I don't take that immediate like intense emotions inside because then it's gonna come out.
For me, I find somebody that I could confide in and trust, and that I trust deeply, and I express to them how I'm feeling, about certain thing, probably the day, and that helped me. And these two ladies you told different ways on how they deal with their bad situations or negative situations, negative feelings, and everyone has their own way. It's just to find that way to deal with it in a proper way, that, for example, you don't displace it anywhere else that you don't want to.
Yeah, like sometimes just even talking to your friend, like someone close to you that you trust, and talking about the situation and acting as if they are the person, you know what I mean? And just like let them have it, because they know you're not talking to them. You're just saying, I wish I could have said blah 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 blah. Sometimes that's good. That helps me.
Yeah, there's actually a therapeutic technique in psychology called the empty chair technique, and counselors will place an empty chair in the room and they'll say, this is your boss, this is your mom, this is your dad, this is your sister that you want to say this stuff to, let it out. Yeah. And then they just let you talk to the chair.
That's like acting. There's like, put something on your fourth wall. So if you're singing a song or whatever, or doing a monologue, you can't just do it, to the camera. Yeah. You gotta actually endow it with something, so you'll see the person. You have to like visualize with that there.
Yeah.
I wonder,
and it's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably did that in the shower before, but
yeah. You ever rehearsed an argument?
Yeah, in the shower. That's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. Yeah. When you're in the shower, just standing up, pretending like you're talking to somebody else. Yeah. That's basically what it is, people.
Literally.
You think you can listen?
You know what you're dealing with?
Something.
And then when you come out the shower, you all commenting.
Yeah. You left it all in the shower.
You left it all in the shower. So there are many others, but we'll finish with regression. We talk about repression, but this one is regression.
And regression speaks to basically returning to a childhood state in your adult life in response to a traumatic event. So that could look like, if you had something that was an indicator of something comforting, so if you had like a favorite stuffed animal and all of a sudden you're wanting to sleep with that again when you're older, or maybe your lights are back on when you're sleeping, those are kind of like childlike behaviors.
Other stuff that you could also look out for is like oral fixation, such as smoking, chewing gum, and even chewing on a pencil is part of regression, which was coined by who, Sigmund Freud, who says that if you're fixated at this stage, you just tend to just want things in your mouth. Listen to, back in order.
Or like overeating foods that you enjoyed as a child, so like binging on ice cream and chips and those things that have like a memory attached to, like Dunkaroos or something like that.
Oh,
Dunkaroos.
they were good.
What were we talking about?
Yeah.
We hope that these tips and also examples will help you to identify if maybe you exhibit some kind of this behavior in your everyday life or when things get heavy, because that's really when this work is the most important, is to identify it in the moment so that you don't continue to have this pattern going, because the more that you continue to do something, the harder it is to stop.
So reflect and think about whenever you are in an upsetting situation or a situation that sparks an intense emotional reaction from you, and think about what kind of defense mechanisms you're engaging, because we all have defense mechanisms.
We do.
So it's just to figure out which one you're engaging in and to replace it with a healthier one.
Yeah, because based off of how we've been conditioned to think by society, our parents, authority figures in our life, there's somewhere where we are right in the middle, right? Where there's an idea that we have of what we want for our life that has nothing to do with what people have told us. That's where we're trying to get to.
Right
to have
there.
to have a healthy life, because as long as you're trying to please this figure that no longer has any influence in your life, really, or shouldn't have any influence in your life, you're going to continue to make these kind of mistakes. You're going to continue to get in your own way, push people away that you don't need to push you away, and put yourself in a corner. For us to be able to live our best life, we have to be actively doing the work.
We know how we want to be.
Yeah.
We just got to do the work to get there.
And ask yourself, why am I doing something? And what do I really want? Like, do I really want to be in this situation?
Because you can be independent and still have somebody else take care of you.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Never that.
Yeah, so don't get in your own way, because we tend to do it a lot and we don't talk about it.
Put a lot of limitations on ourselves.
Don't limit yourself. Let us know. Hit us up if you have any questions. Hit us up if you want us to speak about any topic. Hit us up.
Give us a heart, give us a like, subscribe, follow, share videos with your friends and loved ones that you want to be doing this work with. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Alright, bye!